Welcome back, subscribers. I'm going to talk about the opening the door of all of this information that's coming in, from all these different aspects and angles that it's information overload, and nobody really understands what's real and not. And this is a designed element of, psychologically of what's happening inside the human's mind. So there's something that happens inside of something called alchemy. So alchemy is like the original chemistry, if you will, right? So that was uh, alchemical transformation, turning water into wine, is in the Bible, or uh, the turning base metals into gold. It's the same relative element. So from a spiritual perspective, this is um, this is whenever you have an epiphany, an awakening. The Plato's cave allegory. That's what it is. And whenever you do this, you go through one of these awakening moments in your life. It's so profound. Um, Sometimes it happens on its own, spontaneously. That you come to the realization that you end up seeing cycles, that things have happened to you over and over and over and over again, and you finally see it. Or maybe your life is a mirror of your everything that you see from others is actually a mirror of your life and the way that things are and the way that you process input. Because our bodies are like our avatars are just they're nothing more than they're input devices. We're processing visual, audio, auditory, right? And then we have there really isn't really a sense of touch, because technically you're not really touching anything from a uh, you know an atomic level state. They're never actually really touching, but the program that we're in basically makes it seem as though this is a hard table, and this is my face, and so on, and this is the way hair feels, and this is the way water feels, and it's hot and cold. You notice those things. So the same thing happens internally inside of the mind. So now we're going to talk like metaphysics, and inside of basically mind physics, like how do you turn somebody that is demented, somebody that is not thinking correctly, and then turn them into a useful product where they're they're beneficial to society, right? If you do this on a personal side, then it's a spiritual awakening. You become enlightened because you find you see the errors in your ways. You're willing to walk down this pebbled path of despair, and then you come to the edge of this clearing, metaphorically, and then you become enlightened because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I treated people that way, or I can't believe that I was working that job that it doesn't serve me anymore, because those people are they have an agenda that I don't align with. I didn't realize it. Like, you get behind the scenes and you come to the realization that um, that it's not, you can't take it for face value, right? It's that you once you find out actually how the inner workings of it work, um, a lot of people can't back out of it. This happened during the 2020 to 2022, whenever people were getting vaxxed and following the government, and that they, there's absolutely side effects to stuff that's not been tested. There was no testing. There was none of that stuff. Um, it's going to the doctor now and having administering pharmaceuticals, and I go, well, what's the side effect? Be like, well, where do I start? It'll fix that one thing, but there's a repercussion. There's a repercussion. And typically the repercussion, like, what's the payback? Well, you're going to have to pay the piper, right? So it's like, well, it'll take away this symptom, but you're just going to be reapplying it to, and we're going to create a new symptom for you. Well, what do I do with that? Well, I got another pill for you. I got another one. They keep layering it on and on and on. But alchemically, whenever this happens in the mind, if you notice this, if you've aged, is that you have situations in your everyday life, personal life, just say business in general. When I say business, it doesn't necessarily mean corporations and making, creating, selling products, for the population. It's like everything you do is a transaction. So you have a relationship with your dog or your cat, or maybe it's a fish, maybe like a fish. Maybe it's with a spouse, it's a loved one or something like that. And the way the relationship is, you can tell that there's a difference between the way that you are with that person and then the way that they are with someone else. Like, if you've been in a marriage long enough, that there's like you know what I'm talking about. Like they get to a certain point where they hear somebody hear they something is a rub and it causes friction of with nothing. But the third party people would be looking at it and be like, "Well, I didn't notice anything. You guys seem to get along really well. You guys are a great couple." um, so anyway, when you come to the realization is like, how did I get myself into this position? Am I willing to like stand up for what I know and believe and go against the grain? I'm done swimming with the school. I'm going to go away from that. I'm going to go against the grain and I'm just going to stop the chaos because this isn't right. And what I'd found is that if you can find the origin, the root of how this happens, like why, because if you basically people say like, well, like say they live in a town and inside that town that they end up meeting these people and it's not the best situation. And then what do they pick up and they move to another town and then they find the same kind of people in the same town and so on and so on and so on. So you could plug that into essentially like everything that you do that has some kind of it's like a flat tire. Like it always just keeps coming back, cyclically in these patterns. And that's what I do really well is I identify patterns in world stage business. And that's what our site is. Like, I want to know, like, um, where are we as far as like the historical pattern of the planet? Like what's going on right now? And it's like major stuff is going on right now. And anybody can see that, but hey, it's happened before. Shh. Yep. And then what happened? What was the outcome? Well, I bet because since it happened before, the outcome is it's good, but then it's also like it could be kind of bad. And I'm like, well, if I could choose and I know what the outcome is like I'd rather like position myself so that I'm in the better space, right? I like whatever it is that I want to pay out, it's gonna cost me something, but it's going to be new, and I would prefer that space than not doing anything and just letting governments of the world make a decision on what they think is best for me. I want to have the freedom to be able to have the best for me, and they're absolutely have this system in place moving forward. So back to the metaphysics and the alchemical of the mind is that they're doing this to basically like turn your mind into like a mush state. Like if there's a lot of people out there that have like they've created this like truther community, right? That people just want to know the truth and be like, well, I hate to tell you this, but there isn't, the only thing that's true is experience. Everything else is a story, right? So I can tell you stories till the cows come home, and they're probably very similar to a lot of other stories that other people have, but you have to have your own experiences. You could say like, well, I kind of like the sound of that. I think I'd like to be in that type of situation, but can I set myself up in the same way? Possible. It'll be different. It's not going to be exactly the same. So when you follow others, you follow people, it's typically it's destructive. It's not good for you. You're not on your like true path. You're not able to fly on your own. So um, you have an environment that enables this to happen coming in again, which again is the kind of the American model of opening the doors and having these things happen. So in order to create this new space, belief has to be crushed. And how you do that is by coming out with the truth, and because they absolutely don't have to tell you anything. So people at some point are going to be like, wait a minute, you guys control all the media, all the airwaves, all the internet, all the everything. And whistleblowers are coming through and be like, guys, just to let you know, like if you said something, anything, if I say anything on this platform that is not kosher, later gator, be like, that's the social guy, we have to stay on the guidelines, and they'll just make up an excuse and get rid of you. And it's happened time and time again. So I'm incredibly cautious of this environment and respectful of it, because again, it's a free environment, and then we can I can blow off my steam in here and talk about things, and then it's an advertisement basically for our networking community at Reservoir. So because we're looking for like-minded people. We're looking for business professionals and people that are either entrepreneurs or they want to move into that space to be able to pool resources and create a community environment so that we can all move forward and be prosperous moving forward, because they've absolutely destroyed community, networking. it's a complete mess. So what you want to do is you want to create chaotic environment and then confuses the human. And then you can, when you roll out the new thing and you take away all their belief systems, it creates a vacuum, and then you just slide in the new one. And this is a tried and true method that's been going on as long as there's been human management going on here. Because human beings, like, if you tell them face value what's going on, they won't do it. They won't. If you try to reason with somebody, hey, we're making some changes in the company, and we'd like you to go ahead and do 15 TPS reports, and we'd like you to work on Saturdays. And you're going to be like, huh? But if you can get them to, Tom Sawyer them and get them to do it on their own free will, be like, how do we do that? Well, we have to be a little bit smarter. Oh, how do we? Oh, you put donuts out? Like, oh, it's free donuts on Saturday when you come in and work. Oh, really? That's great. Everybody's going to have some kind of trigger, right? So, um, yeah, that's essentially what's happening. And so your beliefs, I'd write them down. What I would do is everything that you do on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, maybe it's annually, maybe it's of specific cycles. In We always take a winter trip, and you always go skiing with the family. You always go to the beach. You always walk to this park. Whatever it is, write them all down. Write them all down, and then do the exercise and try to find out what are the origins of why you like it, and do you actually like it? Like, what is the product of emotion that you get out of that experience? What's the product? Does it make you feel good? And if it makes you feel good, make sure that you know what the consequences are of that belief system. Like, who created the belief system? Like, what is its origins? And again, most people, like, when it comes to religion, they won't do it. They won't look into it because it just happens. We're not supposed to question, right? You're just supposed to, believe and have faith, right? Same thing with business, same thing with relationships. So I said it's dangerous, but it's a good exercise, because ultimately, moving forward, they're going to be removing these elements, whether you like them or not. It doesn't matter. You can hold on and carry two sets of books in your life and say, like, well, this is socially acceptable, but behind the scenes, we're going to continue doing this in our household. That's fine. You could keep doing that, but just know this: that you're going to be marked, basically. That your this environment of non-inclusivity, is no more special environments. And that's why I was like, well, I want to be able to keep doing that. I'm like, how do I do that? I'm like, well, we can have a paid community. Like, people can pay, and then we'll charge enough money so that they can come in and keep the riffraff out, and keep tire kickers out, and people that aren't serious about, moving forward in making a more prosperous environment for themselves and their families and their businesses. Yeah, let's do that. I want to find these people. Like, where are these people? I know they're out there. I know there's lots of people out there. I'm like, but I'll just organize it. I'll organize it like a general contractor. Like, that's my background. I was like, everybody knows something, and everybody is good at something. And I'm like, well, whenever these destructions continue to keep happening, at the end of the day, what's going to keep going? Business. People are going to still need things. They're still going to need houses. They're still going to need their air conditioning fixed. They're still going to need their car repaired. They're still going to need the plumber to come out. They're going to need everyday life things. They're going to have to go to the grocery store. You know what I mean? All those things. And if you have people that know that, they are so much more even keeled in the mind. Like, when you talk with somebody that is that understands these rules and principles, that no matter how bad they try to paint it in the news, if anybody's watching that crap anymore, it's just like, you're not stealing my louche anymore, guys. Like, what's actually really going on? Why are you telling this story like I need to be afraid all the time? Like, I'm tired of that. So entrepreneurs and business owners don't do that. We look at a problem, and then we come up with a solution, and we execute it. All right. It's as simple as that. Just like, or a sports athlete, if they want to get over climb a mountain, well, what do I need to do? What kind of gear do I need? If I have to do it, all right, or I want to do it, same thing, right? Right. If someone's holding a gun to your head, you're going to climb the mountain. But if you say like, "Oh, I bet you can't climb that mountain." Oh, really? You know? So that competitive nature is it not in everyone. But the ones that it is, we need to be like in an environment that allows for uh that brightness to come out. And if you're not in a clean environment and you don't have forward thinking people, oh, that is not a good space to be in. It is you'll get pulled in to that chaos, and it's essentially it's a drowning effect, the best way, like throwing somebody out in the ocean, and if you can swim you can survive to a certain point, you know but if you know how to swim and you're around water, learn how to swim. Teach your children how to swim. That's a good idea. Don't make the excuse like, oh, we have was Joey drowned because he couldn't swim. Teach them. So we have swimmers in the family, by the way. Anyway, alchemically, that's what's happening. So they're removing the old belief systems and coming out with the truth, so they can roll out the new story, which is not really true, but it's the new rules. They're rolling out the new rules. Now, I'll say when something is new, it um, it will have side effects in the future, but way beyond our life expectancies. This isn't going to be something that is going to be like a dead duck. There's so much energy behind this new system that's coming in that just learn the new rules, be on the front end of it. And those are things that we talk about in our group. And if you want to know more, just like check us out, or hit me up. You can comp the fees, the entry fees. If you shoot me an email, you have to come in the site, and the way that we've set it up is that you have to put your information in, so that we know you're not a bot, and then you're in the site, and then you can shoot us an email, and then we can have a conversation. And if I can publish it, if you got some information or you just want to have a conversation about some things that I guarantee something, and I'll publish it, in our private platform. It won't go public. So it's private. We can black out your face or whatever else, whatever you want to do, and stay, on the down low. Then we comp the fees, because it's, I'm not here to like monetize. I'm here for knowledge and information. Period. So anyway, more to come. Cheers.